Greetings, everyone. It is great to be back on yet another Tuesday and on Being Brown at Work. This is Linda Talafero, and I'm excited to talk to you tonight specifically about the subject at hand. We've all been, well, maybe not all of us. I can definitely say I have. And I would imagine that if you have any type of aspiration in your career, you would probably join me in this. I know there's been times when I just didn't know how I was going to continue to fight the good fight, continue to show up strong, continue to meet head on all of the challenges that came before me day after day. Some of those secret landmines the fancy word is microaggressions. Some of the other roadblocks that were intentionally put in my way. And frankly, some of the roadblocks and challenges and other detractors that I actually caused for myself. And there was time after time again that I was just getting exhausted. But what I found is, and what became my word for 2020, what I found is that I had the capacity within myself, if I just recognized it, that I had the capacity within myself to withstand it all and to come out on the other side stronger. So hence my word for 2021 was resilience. And I know I shared that with you some time ago. And it became my word because I actually reflected on all of those times that, as I shared with you, I dodged a landmine, or I went through a landmine, or I went over one. I tackled those roadblocks, those walls, those obstacles. I got out of my own way. And I did it with such fervor, with such intentionality, with such focus, that I got on the other side and then continued to progress and move forward and upward, which is why I believe that not only is it a word, that it definitely can become our superpower as women of color. Because I know that for me, it has been the foundation of every single time that I had to get on the other side of something. And I just say something because it was always something or someone. And so I wanted to talk about in this episode how you can make that your superpower. Now, some of you may say, look, Linda, just what you described is similar to what I've dealt with. And I'm kind of sick and tired of it. I'm tired of having to be resilient or strong, bounce back, courageous. I'm tired of it. I mean, it's been constant in my journey, in this career journey. And I would offer to you that definitely can be the point that you get to on this journey. But what I'm going to share with you in this episode are ways you can build that resilience so that you can overcome having to wait in line. You can overcome having to constantly battle. Because it doesn't have to be constant. And that you can see the results and the benefits from your strength, your courageousness, your ability to bounce back. So that's what I'm going to share with you in this episode. I'm going to talk about some specific ways that you can become resilient, and that therefore becomes your superpower. The first things first is, dealing with the fact that it can wear you out, is you've got to come up with ways to release it, to cope with the need to have to be resilient. So that is rooted and founded in self-care. What do you do that recharges you, revitalizes you, re-energizes you? How do you do that? How do you take care of yourself on a regular basis? Because we can be, I'm a living testimony that we can be on this corporate ladder climb, and we can be so focused, and we can be so intentional, we can be so diligent, that we then become so exhausted, and we don't know the left from right, and we get worn out. And then that shows up in our inability to be fresh, sharp, concise, our inability to be fully who we can be each and every day. So self-care is extremely critical, and that's how you rebound, or that's how you actually mitigate, reduce getting worn out. That's how you build your resilience. Resilience lies within us. I believe we all have a piece of it, a percentage of it. It's how strong can we make it? How greater of a resource pool can we make it within ourselves so that we can rely on it when we need it? Self-care is definitely critical in that. And then the other piece is self-awareness. Do you know? Can you visualize? Do you feel? Do you know when the triggers are being pushed, such that maybe your emotional intelligence isn't where it needs to be, and you're engaging at a level of that shows frustration and shows a lack of patience and shortness, or you're not really using your listening skills as well as you normally would. So the self-awareness is critical. How you show up every day, how people experience you, can build your resilience when you're very, very aware of who you are, and you know how to manage your triggers, and then you can leverage that. That builds the courage. That builds your strength, because your confidence is strong. Confidence and resilience are linked together. So being self-aware is another way to strengthen and build resilience. Another one that I think is extremely important, and you've probably heard me talk about this before, and that is your network. Do you have what I like to call an accountability partner, or do you have people in your network that aren't going to just tell you what you want to hear, but they'll tell you what you need to hear? And then at the same time, they'll be there when you need them to, for that kind of assurance, that shoulder, that bounce back where you can, share your thoughts and your ideas and your challenges and your struggles and how you think you're going to approach something, and get that bounce back dialogue from them. Your network is extremely important. The people that are connected to you are extremely important. They help foster that resilience and that strength, and your ability to build the courage. And what they also, that's why for me, our networks are so critical. It's part of our unique persona, which is also our brand. And I will tell you, everybody that comes with you can't go with you. So people that may have started with you on your career journey, and then they saw you get a promotion, or they saw you get the opportunity to lead a team, may not have your best interests at heart now, because they may have felt you left them behind, or you somehow are better than. So it's always important to assess our network, assess the people that we're around and the people that we're connected to make sure that they have the best interest, and they can be that person that you need them to be as you're building your resilience and your power as you are taking on this superpower to get to the next level in your career. So networks are critically important, and properly assessing them is beyond important. And last but not least, the other way to build your resilience is to get very clear, very, very clear about your why. What is your why? Why do you want that next level opportunity? Why do you seek that promotion to manager, senior manager, director, vice president, whatever it is? Why is this career your career of choice? What is your purpose? Because when you get very clear about your why, then that can in itself be the thing that really takes your resilience to another level, because you are then hell bent, because your why is so critical. It's hopefully leveraged out of a passion that you have. And that why is so critical to you that it supports the need for you to be strong, the ability for you to bounce back, your level of courageousness, and your desire to show up in that strength, in that resilience each and every day. So completely getting clear about your why is so important to being able to allow resilience to become your superpower. It can take you to a whole nother level. Resilience is that thing. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and maybe, I don't know, maybe 2020 was that year that people thought, oh my gosh, I made it through a year like that. Resiliency is everything. And yes, it's my word for 2021, but I have to say, as I said when I first opened this episode, as I reflect on my career, it has been present all along. Sometimes early on, definitely not strong, clearly not my superpower. But as I really honed in on my purpose, as I really knew what my why, it became very clear and concise about my why. And as I allowed the right people to be around me, as I got smart about my network, and then held myself accountable, had those people give me feedback, which feedback, you guys know, I believe is powerful. And then I started really peeling back that onion, understanding myself at a depth that fostered self-care and a level of self-love and understanding. All of that, I have to say today, is what had prepared me for the role I have today as a vice president. So I know for a fact how much of a superpower resilience can be. And I would greatly offer to you to consider that as you're going through your career journey and you're putting together your tool kit, all the things that you want to put in your box of skills, and how you want to separate yourself from everyone else so that you can be the person that people see that's ready for whatever that next level seat is. I would highly, strongly recommend, offer to you to grab onto resilience, to do everything that I mentioned, to build it, to strengthen it, so that it can be your power that leverages you and takes you to the other side, into that seat. I put, for those of you who see in the notes, or you are watching this in some of other medias like Facebook or YouTube, there's a link to my website. I've got a wonderful career journal there right on the first homepage. I would love for you to click in and get that for yourselves. That would be that's a tool. That's something I wish I had when I was on my journey trying to build my resilience. That career journal will give you prompts. It will give you areas that you can record this work that you're doing, building your resilience as a superpower, and all the other things that you're doing to move your career along. I'd love for you to reach out, grab that for yourselves. Until next time, work on grabbing that superpower, resilience. Take care.